So today I'm doing an oil change on a 2013 KX250F, and what you're gonna need is some oil. I like to run AMS 10W40. Obviously a ratchet. You need a 14 for the drain plug, and a 8 for your oil filter housing. Also need a clean bike. This isn't too clean, but it's alright. It's gonna work. Somewhere to put your oil in a funnel. So the first thing I like to do before I change oil is I like to warm my bike up. Makes the oil flow easier, and that's pretty much it. Don't get it too hot, 'cause then you have to work on a hot engine, so it doesn't make much sense, but just get everything flowing. So the next thing I like to do is pop on my oil fill plug. 1, to let me know I don't have oil in it, and 2, to get more flow when you're draining. Pretty self-explanatory though. Next, it doesn't matter if you take your oil drain plug out or your filter. I like to do my filter first just because, I don't know, I just like to do it first. Just take these 2 8mm out right here. Watch, because your plate might be hot, which mine is kind of warm. There's 3 of them, my bad. Right there. And then a little oil strain out, which that was clean actually. But yeah. Also note, you should watch your crush washers, because don't let them fall in your oil pan. But I think these bolts are different sizes too. I'm not too positive. I don't remember. Let's see. Yeah, they're all different sizes. I like just to keep them in a case like that. Right here for now, but there it is. You should have an O-ring in the back of this too. You gotta be careful of, so you can pull it off. Oh, I guess on this bike. And now get a rag, which I don't have, but when you have a clean rag, go in there and wipe all your residue. You should have dirt in there sometimes, but yep. Now I forgot to mention, this is really preference, but you can take the skid plate off and be easier to change, but you don't really need to. So I'm gonna go off and take this bolt now. I already got it loose, and depending on who did your oil change last or how tightened you did, you can do it by hand. But this guy, whoever did it from, might have stripped the thread. So
that's tight. So, well, the trick is kind of hard with one hand, but you don't want to get the bolt in there. So, we're gonna grab it. There you go.
and that's really clean oil. I didn't change it when I first bought it, so the first time changing this bike, it's all the same. Besides Honda. I know Honda has 2 transmission things. Alright, so now the oil is draining. You should leave your bolt right here, whatever. And now you come over here by your oil filter. Mine is pretty clean. You get your new one, which I don't really have to use a new one, but I don't know how long this guy before me had it for running. The same order, yeah. So I'm just gonna change it anyways, but what I like to do is, oh, there was a GoPro right oil. I like to, so after you drain your oil, blah blah, you come by your oil filter and your new one, sorry. And you don't have to do this, but I like to get some oil on my finger and just prime it just a little bit. You don't have to do this. It's just preference and being a little weird, but I like to just prime both sides. The back side doesn't matter. The gasket's what really kind of matters. Inside should already have oil in it, but just prime it a little bit. Which is not necessary, but I just like to do it. You get it on there, and that's it. And once it's like almost done draining, blah blah, make sure you have no dirt on your bolts or inside here, and wipe it if you do, and then tighten these down. I don't know what the torque is, but I didn't torque them. Just make sure you don't tighten them too tight, because this block's aluminum, and you could probably strip it out pretty easily. Same goes with that bolt. People think you need to tighten this oil bolt tight as hell. You don't. Just snug it. I probably didn't say this, but just shake your bike around a little bit. Get all the way you can out of this thing. If you're on the angle, obviously you can stay in the block, so just drag as much as you can out. Next, you want to put your bolt back in, but make sure you do it by hand, because you never want to thread these by socket. You can't feel if you're, mis-threading it, cross-threading it. So, also, next time I'm probably gonna take this off because it made a mess, but whatever. So we do this, clean up all your oil that you spilled if you didn't take your thing off like I did, being lazy. But make sure you do not tighten that bolt tight. Snug, but not tight, you know what I mean? So now after you do tighten all your bolts up and everything, you want to fill your case, obviously. So this bike takes 800 milliliters when you don't change the filter, and 900 when you do. I like to do a little more, just because, and I put 950 in. I put a whole bottle, so. But so last, you want to put your cap back on. Well, actually, before that, you should check your level. Make sure it's full. Put your cap back on. I'd run it for a minute. Put that back on. My dog's crying.